Come along, children. Now we're going to have a little music.
RB3, how you feeling, man?
Oh no, you're muted.
You're muted. You're still muted.
Can people hear us? Can people hear us? Hello, 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 hello. We're out there to the internet. First Cut Live. You already know what time it is. Apple did another update, and it's killing the vibes right now. So let me just make
Feeling
sure.
the vibes.
Cool. I guess we're all good now. It seems like.
Okay. Do I need? Okay, we're good. Yeah, we don't need to start over. Okay. Cool.
Sabrina, how you been?
I've been good. Getting back into like new job and everything. So a little tired, but having fun. Excited to let you guys know what projects I'm working on in the future. But yeah, that's basically it.
Awesome. Now, first thing I have for you guys on the docket, because I know that you guys probably don't follow this as closely as I do, but did you guys see the Emmys?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I saw some parts of it. Yeah, the intro, recorded it on DVR, but fast forwarded through most of it.
Okay, that counts. That's still something. It's better than I did. I saw like clips on Twitter, which was what I kind of went off of, and then I saw the official list. But what are your guys' biggest takeaways from the Emmys? I'll start with you, Sabrina.
I love all the love that the cast of The Bear is getting. I know, a lot of people have that conversation of like, is The Bear a comedy? And that is a debate that like we can all entertain. I'm kind of on the fence of like, I can see both sides of it, but either way, I'm really, really happy that a lot of the team over there was able to get those awards because I think they deserve their flowers. Of course, Jeremy Allen White, he's been heavily decorated throughout this entire show. But even like everybody else, like having the first Latina Best Supporting Actress award is just absolutely insane. I think this like award show has been going on for 75 years. There have been countless shows that have had incredible performances, and this is the first win. I think that's so insane. And so, yeah, my biggest takeaway.
That's amazing. RB3, what you think, man?
Yeah, I agree with you, Sabrina, about her homegirl is Lisa. What's her last name? Or from The Bear? I can't remember. Or is it? Yeah, she's phenomenal, and she's one of my favorite parts of that show. I'll be honest. I say this with all love to The Bear. I think it's terrible that's nominated in the comedy categories. I think it's not remotely funny at all. I don't think the themes that they're addressing is funny. I think there's shows in the drama category that are way more like funny than like this movie, in this show, the Bear. And I do love The Bear. I didn't like season 3 that much, but they're rewarding season 2. But then I take issue with the fact that they gave Carmi, and again, I love Jeremy Allen White, and he won last time, and all respect to him. I do kind of find it crazy that he won best comedy lead role in the comedy series for an episode where he's having a panic attack in a freezer. Like, that's kind of, I don't know. I don't like that. And I think it really sucks out the life of all the other comedies. I watch a lot of these shows. Like, I feel like I'm a little bit more connected to the Emmys than like other shows. Because, sorry, also y'all, I'm waiting for a phone call. I've been on hold for like an hour, as you can see on screen, an hour. So like literally, if I hear anything like a normal voice, I'm off. That said, yeah, I don't like the fact. Yeah. So, I mean, I like The Bear. I love The Bear as a show, and I love The Bear. If it was nominated in the drama categories, I would love to see it sweep up in the drama categories. But because it's a comedy, I think it sucks the air out of shows like Abbott Elementary, shows like, even Gen V, I mean, of course, Gen V is kind of like silly, but I love that show. You know what I'm saying? And especially the other show that ended up winning Best Comedy Series, Hacks. I'm a huge fan of Hacks. I'm actually writing a pilot right now that's like kind of loosely inspired by like hacks, and I just love that show. I love that show through and through, and I feel like the Emmy voters knew like this is a true comedy through and through. It's about a comedian. It's about dealing with the subject of comedy, and it's actually funny. So I'm glad that got the award overall, and I'm happy for Gene Smart. I do just wish Tyler James Williams from Abbott Elementary would have won Best Supporting Actor, especially in the season that they were looking at. That was his best season. That was his best year. I love Homie from the Bear. I love Cousin, but I feel like he got it last year. He's going to get it again. So, but that's just me. That's me on comedy. All the other categories, I have takes on too, but,
Yeah, it's complicated, right? Because I do feel like there's obviously comedic elements to the Bear, but it's hard to count percentages and to count, I guess, performances, right? Because that's what we're valuing in these awards is these performances, are they comedic or are they more dramatic, like you were saying with Jeremy Allen White? I kind of agree with you with Tyler James Williams. I kind of feel like it should have been him. It would have been a great opportunity for him, and I do feel like Cousin gets a lot of love, and he's going to get even more love, obviously, when he plays the Thing. But it is a complex thing. I do feel like it's a little bit unfair for the actors to be put in that position. I kept seeing red carpet videos of them being asked
about it.
Yeah, and it's like, bro, what do you get out of asking them? Like, what do they have to do with it? Like, I don't know. I just feel like that's above their pay grade, and they should be. They're just there to read the script and perform and give their best performance. I don't think they should be in a position to give the verdict as far as what it is and what it isn't. My biggest takeaway, obviously, is Shogun. I've been preaching from the mountains as soon as I saw this show. I got to see this show as it was airing week to week, which was fun because we got to see like the little Twitter vibes, the what are those called? Edits. The edits that we got from these, I know I'm an old man.
Fan cams.
The fan cams, they were a lot of fun. And I see a comment that that is 100% how I'm feeling. MK Songbird, Tadanobu, 100% was the best performance in that show. Just absolutely incredible. He plays kind of like just an amazingly complex character where he's kind of a villain, then he's kind of an ally, then he's like playing both sides, and you're just always kind of like low-key rooting for him, and you don't even know why, even though he's done like awful things in the show. Just absolutely phenomenal performance, and I really do hope we see more of him in other movies and shows. He plays this is his like claim to fame. He plays Raiden in the new Mortal Kombat movie. That's what, yeah, he's Raiden, like the brief appearances you see. Yeah. But he's absolutely incredible, and I do feel like he absolutely stole that show. So, but still, shout out to Anna Sawai, and I'm definitely gonna butcher his name. Is it Hirozuki? Hiroyuki Sanada. Who is been in Hollywood for so long. If you don't know the name, you will definitely know the face, and has just been giving just absolutely incredible performances for an extensive amount of time. So shout out to him for winning Best Actor in a Lead Role. I think that was incredible. Any other big takeaways before I start reading some winners?
No, sorry, were you going to say, Sabrina?
Oh, no, you go first.
Oh, yeah. No, I also really appreciated Shogun winning, too. I personally have not finished it yet. But, I that's on me. The 1-inch barrier, those some titles, it's just tough. But no, I really did love the first like
Bong Joon-Ho, bro. What are you doing, bro?
Yeah, no,
you can't be saying that.
Problem. Yeah, it's a problem.
Don't let that. Come on now.
Yeah, no, it's a problem.
It's funny because I put subtitles on for everything. I don't know, like it's just always how it is for me. So I'm constantly reading subtitles. So when I switch over to something else, it doesn't bother me. And I have been wanting to check out Shogun, but I'm bad with TV. I binge watched the rest of Emily in Paris last night, which was really good and probably deserved a few Emmys in the future. So I'd love to see Emily in Paris get nominated. Anyone who watched that, there's probably not a single person watching the show who watched the second part of Emily in Paris, but that ending, Absolutely fantastic. They dialed this season up to 100. It was actually really good television, really good writing. Get through the first two seasons. It's ridiculous. It's fun. It's camp, whatever. This season was great. I cried. I laughed, whatever.
Arbitrary, what you were saying? I know you were on the train of thought.
Was I? Oh.
Yeah, you were talking about Shogun and the 1 inch barrier and.
Oh no, that was it. I agree. That was it. Okay. I also read subtitles. One thing I didn't like that dude from Slow Horses, Will Smith, that guy making that joke. That was dumb. I thought that joke was dumb.
What'd he say?
He was like,
I didn't.
Yeah, it was the dumb. His name, the guy who won for Slow Horses for like best drama series or best writing or whatever.
Yeah.
His name is Will Smith, and then he went on stage and was like, "Everybody, please, I come in peace," or something stupid. You know what I'm saying? Something cheesy. You know? And it's like, oh great, another Will Smith joke. Like 4 years later, we're never gonna live that one down. But okay, yeah, that's all I care about.
What was the category for what he won for?
It was for best writing in a drama series. Yeah, so Shogun won pretty much every other category, but that was the only other show. I was even trying to Google or the other nominees, but I can't find no one who gives me even the other nominees. But
I have them right here.
Okay.
Yeah, The Crown, Fallout, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and then 2 episodes of Shogun.
Okay, I love Mr. and Mrs. Smith, man. I'm sad that went home empty-handed, and I also like Fallout a lot too. You know what I'm saying? I know Fallout took home some technical categories, but yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, man, I do wish that would have won a little bit more, but you know, can't win them all.
Yeah, I feel like the problem with the Emmys, and I feel like this is going to be a problem with that we have or that I have with a lot of award shows, is that it still feels very limited with its scope as far as what is quality shows. There are so many, and I mean so many damn good shows out there, and that constantly pop up and that constantly premiere, that it's hard to keep up. And I understand that it's hard, but I still feel like we always go back to the massive either big budget or big star formula within a show. Shogun was a big budget. Fallout was a massive budget. That thing was enormous for anyone who saw Fallout. Amazon threw a lot of money into that. Mr. and Mrs. Smith had Donald Glover. He was nominated as well. There's still this formula that we kind of keep going back to that kind of limits the scope of what we can nominate and what we can give awards to. Obviously, The Bear kind of broke that a little bit when it premiered, but now The Bear is in the conversation and it's constantly getting more and more love. I just feel like we need to kind of open up our avenue a little bit more and allow more creativity, more unknown names, more unknown actors who are in quality shows get a lot of love, because I do feel like a couple of these shows are a little bit overhyped, if I'm being honest. I don't know if you guys feel the same way. I mean, I think you name one. I think Fallout is a little bit overhyped. I thought it was good, but it's not like better than like half the shows I've seen.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, it is really interesting because obviously I'm a person who doesn't watch a lot of television. But when I was going through the nominations the day of and just kind of looking at what's potentially getting the win, I would see so many like The Morning Show, The Morning Show, The Morning Show.
That's the one. That's another one.
That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of these Apple shows.
That show's so overhyped. I've seen it. It's
yeah, I can't speak to the quality, but it's just really interesting to see how much some of these shows take over certain like categories. It's just like it was like The Morning Show, and then there was like another show that had multiple nominations all in one category. So yeah. I really do think, like, again, as somebody who doesn't watch a lot of television, I would be more interested to check out shows if it was like stuff I haven't really heard of as much. I have heard of The Morning Show. I probably will never watch it. And again, no offense to like anyone who's a fan of it, it's probably fine. But like something like a Shogun has me interested. Even, you know, obviously we talk about The Bear, even Succession, like there are just some of these shows that come out and then they sweep so many categories that at a certain point, it's like, I want to see something new. Yeah, I mean, you kind of mentioned it, RB3 with like Cousin, and as much as I love him, like I would have liked to see Tyler James Williams get that one.
Yeah, especially just because everybody hates Chris too. That's like, you know, everybody loves him. I think with the best, you know, with the best drama category, I feel like it's a little bit corrupted, not corrupted, but the Emmys like to do like they like to show love to every network, basically. You know what I'm saying? So like with Prime, they was like, all right, let's show love to Fallout. With Netflix, let's show love to Three Body Problem. With with Max, The Gilded Age. You know what I'm saying? Like they like to divide the love. Now, what's interesting though is the fact that I don't think Mr. and Mrs. Smith or Shogun, they're originally competing in the Best Limited Series category originally, but because they're both shows that announced season 2s, they got put into the drama category. So like we could have been looking at a very different race in the best drama category if they didn't announce the season 2s for those shows, which I think is fascinating too. I will say, yeah, the best drama series, best comedy series, definitely routine. We've definitely seen those a lot. The best limited series category, I love that category every year. Like, and this year in particular, I didn't know anything about Baby Reindeer. I didn't watch it like beforehand. But after seeing it win everything, I binged it the past couple of days. Whoa, what a crazy, amazing show that was. Like, that was phenomenal. Like, that was, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? And it's a very interesting and honest portrayal of the situation that's just wacky and over the top, but whoa, when it gets deep, man. And kudos to the dude who made that, because that took some real honesty. It's like some real honesty to make that show, for sure.
That's a good example of one that gets attention for something that I haven't really heard too much about. And I think that's a great example that you mentioned is Baby Reindeer for sure. The examples you named, Gilded Age, what was the other one? Morning Show. Morning Show got 4 actress nominations inside supporting actress category. That's ridiculous. There are other actresses out there who give incredible performances. It can't just be all Morning Show. And those are 2 examples of what I meant by overhyped as well. Gilded Age, I've seen Gilded Age. I don't know if you guys have seen it. That's another show that I'm just like pretty by the numbers, average. Like if you've seen, I don't know, what's that show on Netflix that everyone loves? Bridgerton? No, Bridgerton. It's like it's like a little better than Bridgerton. It's not even that special. It's just those kind of things that kind of really make me think like, what are you guys doing here? It's really strange. The other thing I wanted to give a shout out to, Tyler James Williams. I told you RB3, I think last time I saw you. I met homie, and he's the nicest dude ever. I've always been rooting for him ever since I got that conversation with him way back in the day. Super nice guy. And then the only other thing I want to give... Yeah. He got the sleeveless tank top. People were loving it, man.
That's a man that everybody should follow.
Yeah. And then I wanted to let you guys give any shout outs to any speeches or winners that you felt like was a cool moment or just cool moments in the show.
Again, Liza from The Bear. I think it's just so crazy that she started off her speech kind of saying like, I didn't prepare a speech. My husband told me to, but I thought there's no chance that I could get this. From the start to the end of her entire speech, like it was just so stunning. And she truly, like, you can tell, because sometimes like it's inauthentic when somebody's like, oh my God, I didn't prepare anything. Like, I didn't think this was possible. She truly didn't. And again, that stat shows the fact that in all these decades of this show, we never had a Latino winner.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, like that one was beautiful. And I also think like, so deserved. I know RB3 touched on it, but like she is such a powerhouse performer, whether it's comedy, whether it's more like heartfelt moments, just her contribution to the show. I literally have chills thinking about her role. I love her so much in the show. So 100% her.
Speaking of which, I wanted to give a shout out to the other Latinas who were in the nominees. I still feel like Isa Lopez, if you guys saw True Detective Night Country, Isa Lopez should have won that, bro. Isa Lopez killed me with those episodes for directing. True Detective Night Country also gave us,
Jodie Foster.
I know she won, but the other girl.
Reese.
Is that her name? The other native girl?
I think Callie Reyes or something? Callie Reese? Make sure.
But let me, I was pulling it up right now. I'm trying to type. But the native nominations and the native representation was really important to see.
Reservation Dogs as well.
Yeah, Reservation Dogs. Come on, they're not giving me the current cast. They're giving me like Matthew McConaughey and
no. She was
what's
great.
her name? Oh, Callie Reese. There you go. You said it right. Jesus Christ. And then homie from sorry, homie from Reservation Dogs. And then homie from Reservation Dogs. Lily Gladstone. I saw that show. I feel like I'm the only one who saw that show. That's the show I was telling you guys like back in March, I think is when it came out. That it's super brutal. Like it's hella like hard to watch. Like hella hard to watch. And it's about a detective who tries to solve the murder of a teenage girl, and it's really about like teenage girls, and it's crazy. It's absolutely insane. It's just really brutal. Like it just the way the show delves into that. But Lily's great in it. So shout out Lily, shout out Callie Reese, and then shout out, I'm gonna get his name, Reservation Dogs homie.
I don't know his name.
I'm pulling it up right now.
But I do want to give a quick shout out to my Emmy nominated homie Mato Standing Warrior. He was did the music for Reservation Dogs, and in his
you told me.
So he was supposed to do the score for Echo as well. Marvel, I don't know what happened with that, but they got some white dude to do it. I don't like that. Sorry, but what were you gonna say, man?
No, that's it. The Pharaoh Wunatai. The Pharaoh Wunatai. We also got a comment from that from MK Songbird in the chat. So those were that was a cool moment for him as well.
I want to one more shout out I want to give to. Shout out my man Lamorne Morris from Fargo. You was about to say that too, Sabrina.
Yep.
Shout out. I actually love Fargo. I watch Fargo like religiously, even the new episodes. So he was actually very deserving.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was the one where I was like, huh? Because I haven't seen it.
No, Fargo's fun, but it's also a legacy award for New Girl. I feel like too.
Exactly. I'm like he just churns out these performances, and it's also crazy that this is his first nomination as a whole. Not only did he not win for New Girl, but he was never even nominated. That's crazy. He did the cutest, sweetest little video of his daughter making fun of him when he was crying when he heard about his nomination. It was so cute. So I'm really happy for him. Winston Bishop.
Yeah.
Every time First Cut Live always gets messy. I know his ex. Yeah, I know his.
I interviewed him a few years ago.
Oh no way!
Bloodshot.
Oh, there you go. It's a homegirl. She used to. I think she does e-news. I met her back in the day during this e-news thing I did, but yeah. And now she's married or dating another famous guy. I don't know. Oh. But she's really nice. That's all I know. I don't know what happened there. I mean, they got a daughter out of it, so I guess it's fine.
Was that the daughter that was making fun of him?
Huh?
Was that the daughter that was making fun of him?
I think so. I'm gonna put my hands up. I can't speculate. I can't say.
So cute. She was so cute in the videos. You guys should all look it up if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Nah, I love that, and I think I don't know him personally, but I think I loved his performance in Fargo.
Yeah,
I thought he brought a lot of life to it. And then, John Hamm in that season of Fargo was great too. I was very surprised they didn't give it to Robert Downey Jr. for The Sympathizer for Best Supporting Actor as well, just because he won the Oscar that year. And then in The Sympathizer, he's literally playing like 7 different parts. So I was like, oh, wow, like, that's a very showy role. But yeah, no, I love Fargo. I'm just happy to see my brother finally win a long-deserved Emmy.
Only other thing I have right here is a video that I retweeted, and that was really cool for me. It was seeing Gael and Diego Luna come up on stage and speak Spanish, present in Spanish. I thought that was a cool moment. And the fact that they did it almost like as an FU to the Emmys and as an FU to anyone else who says we can't speak Spanish. So shout out to Gael and Diego, repping Latinos and repping Mexican culture. So
yeah, that was great. The show itself was great. I know people criticize the show. They always criticize the show. Jesse Collins Entertainment put the show together. That's my guy. Gave me my first gig. Salute to Jesse Collins. No notes. Perfect. No notes. I do wish they actually one note. I wish they would show the clips Like they should show clips. I just wish they show clips. That's all.
I miss that. Even like the Oscars didn't do it this past year, right? Like I miss seeing those little like Toni Collette, if she was nominated for Hereditary, but like the I am your mother. Like I want to see those crazy moments on screen again and be like, yeah, exactly.
But low key, like people don't realize those clips go miles. Like people watch those clips, see 3 seconds of a movie, and dead ass go like, I need to see that. That works. Like that shit works. That's marketing. And I feel like it's weird to just kind of pan to the actors and be like, you're beautiful, you're kind, you're loving. It's like, yeah, I know, but I want to see you act though. Which I think works better for them. All right, guys, let's move on to the other big thing that came out this week. And I got a lot of thoughts on it. I think I saw Sabrina tweet about it. It's the Mickey 17 trailer. Bong Joon-Ho is back. We see Robert Pattinson, Steven Yeun in this new trailer. What did you guys think of the trailer? I'll start with you, Sabrina.
Yeah, so if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, RB3, but we actually saw this at CinemaCon back in April. So the moment...
The trailer, right?
The full trailer, yeah. So the moment I saw it, I knew that we were in for something special with Bong Joon-Ho and Robert Pattinson. I think when Robert Pattinson throws on those crazy ass voices and just does like insane accents and lets it run wild, I think he's just such a scene stealer, of course. And then Bong Joon-Ho working with him, I think is really, really exciting. Again, we're talking about someone whose last film won the Palme d'Or, won Best Picture, and now it's been years since both of those things have happened, and we knew that Warner Brothers was kind of holding this film hostage for some reason. It's supposed to be out like 6 months ago. There were reports that Bong Joon-Ho wasn't getting final cut, which I'm like, this is Bong Joon-Ho. He has such a stacked filmography of banger after banger, and you're not going to let him get like final cut on this. So that's the only thing that worries me is just what consensus they ended up reaching and if Bong Joon-Ho was able to kind of see his full vision come to life. But this trailer was really fun and I'm super excited.
RB3.
Yeah, nah, same. I'm very curious to see, like you said, Sabrina, like what Bong Joon-Ho's actual involvement in the final cut is. Is he gonna be out there promoting it? Because I remember with Parasite, it was like nonstop Bong Joon-Ho interviews. I loved it. You know what I'm saying? But he was like everywhere, and I wonder if it'll be the same. You could tell, if he's going to be into it if they put that same energy into it. The fact that it's coming out in January does scare me a little bit too with the release date. But just going by the trailer itself, oh my goodness, I loved every second of it. I've loved it when we saw it at CinemaCon. I love the tone. I love the music. I love I wasn't expecting something so comedic. I was expecting something more. Sorry about that. I was expecting something more, serious. Serious nature, like Bong Joon-Ho is sometimes. But you forget how much of a funny bone this guy has, how wacky he is, and this definitely is leaning more towards the Okja vibes than like anything else. And I loved Okja, so I'm here for that ride.
Yeah, even like with even with how incredible Parasite is, I think a lot of people forget how funny it is at the same time. And then also going back to the January thing, we have Paddington that month. We have Lee Whannell's Wolfman, Steven Soderbergh's Presence, and Mickey 17. So it's actually kind of like a stacked month, especially for something that would normally be considered a dumping ground. I just think like post-COVID, I don't think that applies anymore. I don't know. What do you guys think?
You sure?
You think Paddington's going to be bad?
It's not that. I don't trust January, man. I don't trust it. I really did. The first thing that I got away from this trailer was literally the date. I was like, what? Because that to me spells out like something happened behind the scenes where they were just like, this film is just not it. We're going to dump it in January. And whether that's just their opinion, executive's opinion or not, maybe they did give him final credit or final cut after, a long-winded discussion. But after that, they were like, fine, you get final cut, but we're dumping you in January. And he was like, I don't care. I'm Bong Joon-Ho. But at the same time, I just feel like January still like give me a January movie that is like won an Oscar or just like a January movie that like moved mountains.
No, a January movie hasn't won an Oscar, but 2020, right before the pandemic,
Okay.
Bad Boys for Life was a major hit in January. January.
Yeah, we saw it together. It was great, but that's not like Bong Joon-ho Parasite level. That's not like, this is gonna get awards attention.
No,
I just feel like that date is just scary. It's scary. That's all I'm gonna be the only one to say it. And I do feel like if I'm jumping to the trailer real quick, it's super wacky, super comedic. It looks very Okja, like you said, RB3, and it's funny because I was low key hating on this trailer as I was watching it, even though I think Robert Pattinson looks great. But then I remembered, I remember sitting down and watching Okja. We did a video about it, RB3, and I was hating on Okja as I was watching it, and then all of a sudden, like the weird twists and turns of this movie just killed me. And I ended up like, that's one of my biggest crying movies I think I've ever seen. And I became an Okja defender. I was like, Oksha's the shit. I love Okja. So maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe I'll be wrong. It's just that date that really took me out.
yeah, I was trying to like, serve on you a little bit and be like, oh, well, look at January 2024. And this is actually an abysmal list. So never mind. We have Miller's Girl, which if anybody watched that, I don't know if you two saw it with like oh my God, that is a movie that truly is like, if you took any angsty teenager's notebook from like 2013 Tumblr and brought it to life, that's literally what that movie is. It's unreal. You have to watch it with a group of people. All of us were laughing our asses off the entire time. So yeah, I mean, this upcoming January looks like it's going to be a lot better of a lineup. So fingers crossed.
Whew, I don't know, man. That date, it's just, it feels like Bong Joon-ho was like, you know what? Parasite was awesome. I got the best picture win. I'm gonna do whatever I want. And I'm gonna do like the most over the top, ridiculous, like ridiculous. Like, I'm gonna tell these actors, like, what are you doing? You're not giving me anything. Like, camp it up. Like, just like do it up. Like, I can imagine him on set being like, what is that performance? I want ridiculous. Because Mark Ruffalo looks insane in this movie. The dialogue feels so heightened at every level. Like, nothing feels like it's on the ground. Nothing feels tangible. It feels like you're floating at the level of just so over the top that I feel like Warner Brothers saw this movie and was like, yeah, no, we're out.
See, that's why they needed something like, even if it's like a Searchlight or somebody that can kind of like really lean into the campiness and the chaos. Like we saw them with Poor Things. Mark Ruffalo's character was phenomenal. They just let him go wild. And I know Bong Joon-ho did not have to tell Robert Pattinson to camp it up. That man came, yeah, he came like that. And I know this is adapted from a novel. So like there is that original premise of a story and something for them to work off of. I don't know how much this film is going to like differ from the novel. So maybe I'll give it a read.
And just to further support Sabrina's point about January 2024, abysmal for sure. January 2023, though, not that bad. We had Megan from, you remember Megan, right? The doll robot. That was crazy. We had Missing with Storm Reed, which, you know, I liked it. I actually did like that movie. And then unfortunately we did have House Party. Yikes. But you know, yeah, January 2023 wasn't the worst.
Bro, everything you named. Sure, wasn't the worst. It cannot hold like a candle. It cannot hold a matchstick to Bong Joon-ho, bro. Like, this is Bong Joon-ho.
We have Steven Soderbergh coming out with a film the same, like January 2024. So we have like him, again, Paddington, Lee Wanell, like Invisible Man, I'm pretty sure came out in January or February, maybe.
I think it was February.
Well, like still early in the year. So they got the vibes on lock. Okay. I have faith. I think this is going to be a really good lineup of films that we're going to have for January 2025.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So I was going to say, shout out to the chat. And they did have some comments. Yeah. MK Songbird said, Bong Joon-ho said he refuted reports of having final cut on the film. By the way, y'all, I see 10 people watching. But only 4 likes. Let's get them likes up, people. I want to see 10 likes for all 10 of y'all watching right now. Help support the channel. And if y'all watching the replay, hit the like button and help us support us some more. Yeah, sorry, Andres. Sorry to cut you off.
No. I was just gonna say I'm just skeptical. I just feel like something is just not right. That date, you don't give a Best Picture winner director that date. Like, I'm just sorry. Like, Lee Winnell hasn't won Best Picture.
But the thing is, missteps have Warner Brothers had over the last few years. Of course, besides like the Barbie and everything like that, they've kind of like butchered so many different releases. So I think like that's more of a them problem than the movie and Bong Joon-Ho. I really think they didn't know how to handle a film like this.
That's a good point. And I do feel like, I don't know. I'd feel better if it was February. I still feel like just something about January feels toxic.
It's be like 6 months ago. So it wasn't originally slated for January. So who knows?
Yeah. And shout out to Kevin Davis. He did bring up a good point. February 2025, Captain America: Brave New World. March 2025, Snow White live action and Ryan Coogler vampire movie. So it's like, the release. Yeah.
Wait, what was that? March you said, or May?
March 2025.
Okay.
Live action Snow White and Ryan Coogler vampire movie. February 2025, Captain America: Brave New World. So it's like we're already kind of getting a crowded fill, you know what I'm saying, in those months. So
yeah, I think I agree with Joseph Weeks too. Zaslav is just, this guy is literally walking toxic fumes, the worst of the worst you can possibly imagine in Hollywood. So I do feel like that might be a part of it as well. So I definitely want to give Bong Joon-ho a shot to cook. I just feel like that's just a disrespectful date. And it's just, I don't know. That spells trouble to me. I don't know what the trouble is necessarily, but I just feel like it's so ridiculous to give him that date. But yeah, I agree at the same time that there are, like, Dune 2 came out in March as well. Get Out came out in February. There are examples of just phenomenal, all-time movies that everyone appreciates now. That came out very, very early in the year. So fingers crossed he nails it. All right, let's move on. RB3, I know you had something else you wanted to talk about.
Did I?
If not, I have something, but
ahead. I mean, I just had a couple things on shout out Dark Horizon. They be having some fun headlines. Passion of the Christ sequel coming early 2025. See, they don't want to compete with that. I don't want to see that compete with Mickey 17. That's not fair. Zach Kreger in talks to direct the new Clue remake. So that's cool as well. And oh my gosh, of course, Apple dropping that George Clooney Brad Pitt movie this week that nobody's gonna watch, but it's sad.
It's crazy how much stuff they turn out on like Apple. We were talking about all the TV shows and everything. My friend has it, and she was scrolling through, and I hadn't heard of most of everything, even though there was big names attached. Even this George Clooney, Brad Pitt, not that I care to watch it, but like I haven't heard anything about it at all.
Yeah, it's weird. It feels like a just kind of do it and dump it kind of avenue that they have, because they do make some quality stuff. I've seen some Apple shows that are really, really good and that I enjoy, but I do feel like at the same time they just have a tendency to just dump movies on there and claim they did something when in reality they didn't.
Yeah, that's such a disservice to and so much hard work on a film for it to just be like tossed and then it's like, okay, it's out, move on.
I agree. I hate that. I think that marketing should be a huge part of films as well, because people need to know that they can watch a good movie and not just find a good movie. Any other things you have pulled up, RB3, before I jump to one thing I want to get your guys' thoughts on?
No, that's how you.
Yeah, so the one thing I have today is I believe this is today that this came out. I might be wrong, but I'm reading off of Deadline. Lionsgate partners with AI firm to generate video from its IP. So this is a new deal that they're having with an AI firm to literally create, this is the first of the first AI generated content within a film, which is very, very strange, very weird. And as someone who despises AI, probably more than a lot of people, I think it's very concerning, and I think it's something that we're finally seeing a little bit more of. But according to the Deadline article, Lionsgate is excited to announce their partnership with Runway, a visionary best-in-the-class AI, to develop cutting-edge, capital-efficient content creation opportunities. And this says that they're augmenting, enhancing, and supplementing current operations, and that filmmakers are excited to work with this technology. How are you guys feeling about this news that I just saw this morning? I believe it came out this morning.
I don't know the scope of how much AI. I feel like there should be no AI present. Even a film that I really liked, Late Night with the Devil, used some AI art for like background stuff, for like some sequences, because it was supposed to be an old TV show. So it'd be like, we'll be right back. And it was AI art, which is so mind-boggling to me, because you would probably be able to pay artists to actually create these things for not that much more. Like, you're not really saving that much. So I don't know the scope of how much they're going to implement this into, if it's their films or whatever it may be. But it's just so crazy to me, because AI will never capture like the human spirit, obviously. Like, that's the best way for me to put it, is that you can see how dull and lifeless something is when it is AI, whether it's writing, whether it's visual, anything like that. And so I am so against any AI, especially taking jobs from creatives that are already like struggling to find jobs. It makes no sense to me. I know there was talks that they used AI for that Megalopolis trailer, the one that they got pulled down immediately. So it's like, if that doesn't show you that maybe this is not the way to go, I don't know what it is. And a few weeks ago, we have kind of been talking about how bad, not to add more like studio/marketing, talk to this, but like, truly, Lionsgate has been doing so bad marketing all of their films. Maybe put more energy and money into something like that versus a lot of this AI stuff that humans can do. I just think that's crazy.
Yeah, the irony that was AI, that was Lionsgate, Sabrina, the one that did the Megalopolis thing. It's like Lionsgate is fumbling this shit, and at the same time they're doubling down on it.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Megalopolis.
Arbitrary, what do you think?
Oh,
yeah.
Borderlands. Like, it was just back to back to back fumbles, and this is another one now.
Yeah, no, it's a bad look. It's a bad look. I mean, it's interesting because AI is very interesting. The place that AI like can play in the film industry, the place that it already plays in the film industry, especially when you're talking about visual effects, when you're talking about like performance capture, all that stuff. I said it before, but yeah, if you watch, The Incredible Hulk and the Avengers, or if you watched, Avatar: Way of Water, you saw some AI. Like, they used a lot of AI to make those movies. They just don't really tell people about that. It's through the visual effects, through the machine learning stuff, through the facial recognition, particularly, is like a lot of AI stuff. So it's like, with it just depends on how you implement the AI. Now, I think if there's a world where, let's say, Lionsgate is not like making AI content, but let's say they like use AI to like upscale some of their old movies from 1080p to like 4K, and that's what they use the AI for. Okay, I'm not mad at that. Or even if they're using it to like auto, because a lot of times AI could like auto generate subtitles in like different languages and stuff. If it's something like that, cool, because I understand, it is better to pay somebody to do that. But if you're trying to be more efficient and it's just something that doesn't interfere with the actual creative process, it's like supplementary, then I'm all here for that. But when it comes to making AI content, when it comes to making AI art, when it comes to making writing scripts using AI, that's super trash. I don't support that. That's super trash. So I just think, it just really depends on where the AI is being implemented. If this firm is like truly, gonna be taking the Lionsgate's movies and like copying them and writing original scripts and cranking out animated movies, then I'm not here on board for that. But if it's like small uses or like uses that, frankly, human mechanisms are just not efficient to handle, then I'm not the most mad at it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think this goes back to something we talked about last year when it came to the strikes. Just the treatment, the way that executives treat AI. They treat AI as if it's an individual, which it is not. It is not a human. It is not an artist. It is a tool. And I feel like if you know how to respond to that, then that's how you should do it. But this kind of like worshiping of AI that I see from a lot of like tech executives
Yeah.
and Hollywood executives. Go ahead.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Oh, for me is like that's the issue is that I see ads with Keanu Reeves doing backflips, being like, "Are you gonna be left behind to the future?" Or like Brie Larson doing ads last year, being like, "AI is here, like join or die," and it's like that kind of feels weird. Like this isn't some sort of like future that we should dive straight into. This is something that we should regulate, that we should understand a lot more, and that even the creators behind them are saying, hey, this can be dangerous. This can be destroying a lot of industries, a lot of industries, and that maybe we shouldn't just rely on it 100%. Where now that if you search on Google, that's the first thing that pops out. Like this kind of like over reliance on AI, this belief that AI is the future, and that if we don't dive into it head first, that we're somehow some regressive people who don't want to see progress in our society. When in reality, that progress is so thinly veiled and it's so corrupted with so many hands, capitalistic hands in it that really want to drive just money towards themselves. And the fact that generative, I forget, I can't even say the word.
Generative AI.
Generative AI is especially dangerous and especially corrupt when it comes to the types of things that it can create and the types of minds that it can kind of absolve. I see a lot of old people falling for fake news a lot, and they can just use AI to do it. And then the fact that those already cause so much harm to the environment, like excessive amounts of harm. I've read a lot of research that says that AI isn't just like really bad for the environment. It's like especially bad. It's like coal bad or like oil rigs bad.
Yeah,
it's really destroying it. Yeah, and it's like that's the kind of shit that we should be talking about before we dive head first into it. When it comes to stuff like you mentioned RB3, I feel like that's always been the case and that's always been fine. But the problem is this belief that AI is somehow our savior is what's scary to me, and what we really need to start processing and discussing as artists and as just people.
And I agree with you 100%. I think AI is a tool. I think it should be used as a tool. And I've said it before on here, like, if a independent filmmaker with no money, no resources to like hire an artist, or don't even know an artist to hire for like storyboards or like, concept art and stuff like that, but they still need to communicate their vision, I'm not mad at that person using generative AI to like help get an outline, help get a concept art, help get like a storyboard across, in that sense. And it just comes to the fact of like, and I think in pre-production using it for imagery and stuff is totally cool. I think using it in and during production, like you said, Sabrina, using it like set details or in post-production with like editing or anything like that, is definitely, questionable. Like we shouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think if it's used as a tool and we effectively regulate it and we effectively say like, hey, like, use AI apply the AI in these senses, but make sure they're still a human. And by the way, I think if a movie has a budget of over $2 million, they should have a total ban on AI, especially on the like paying the artists for like concept artists and stuff. I just think for me as an indie filmmaker, the AI does open up new opportunities for storyboards, for concept art, for ways of presenting your vision for the art, than has ever been accessible before. That being said, though, don't use those storyboards or concept arts or anything like that as like the final product, because it's just not good. Let the human soul be part of that.
And you can see it too. Like again, going back to Late Night with the Devil. Hey, I think RB3 got his call. Going back to Late Night with the Devil, like truly, you can see how like messed up it is. It's like pumpkins and bats and whatever, like in the image, because it's supposed to be like a Halloween special type of thing. And it doesn't look good. Like once you pause it and actually pay attention to it, it doesn't look good. That would have been something that you easily could have paid any artist. I know it was a lower budget film, but the two brothers, I believe, that directed it, they've made films before. They weren't working off of like that low of a budget. And honestly, the conversation around AI completely overshadowed how good David Dastmalchian was. And like, when do we get to see him in a lead role, like ever? And the whole conversation is now around the AI instead of actual like content of the film and like things that truly mattered. So yeah, just honestly crazy.
Yeah, I think the issue too is the actual industry itself. Like if you follow any kind of tech blogs or tech news, you see what is happening now in San Francisco, and it's becoming so. I mean, there's no other word for it besides toxic. It's becoming destructive to not just the environment, but to the city, to the people, to the industry, as far as how much money is being poured into this without any kind of knowledge behind it. Literally just entrepreneurs and billionaires who want to make as much money as possible, pouring billions of dollars into this technology without any thought behind what it entails or what is going to come of it, right? Or how it's going to be used. And the fact that it is being used in such a corrupt and such a bizarre way already entails, I saw someone, I think it's MK Songbird, say copyright issues with using a lot of people's previous art. It's going to entail a lot of misinformation, which is already being seen a lot on Twitter. And
like I saw older people that were posting like a picture of Kamala Harris and Jill Biden kissing each other. And like it looks so AI and it looks so fake, and had them in bikinis. It was set in like Mexico or something like that. And it was like, oh my God, these are crazy swingers. Like they're trying to like take away our nuclear family and our way of life. And look at them. Look at what they do in their free time. And people actually believe it, which is just the most mind-boggling thing. And it's so easy to do that. Audio, visual, photo, like it doesn't matter what it is. There are some crazy things that can happen. And then it's like, at what point are we held accountable? Because when Donald Trump shares AI images of Taylor Swift and is treating it as if they are real, even though obviously he knows they aren't. But when he does that and some people believe him, what's the point of like parody? And then what's the point where you can actually sue them? Because I know that that's like, this is all so new. The conversations around this are new in the first place. And so, yeah, just dangerous in so many ways.
Yeah, I feel like that's the issue, right? Is that it's so simple to laugh it off and to excuse it somehow. But the fact that a lot of people do believe it is a major, major issue. But I do feel like it's the way it's being presented is also a huge issue. It's the money that's being poured into it. Besides any other thing that could possibly be poured into, this is the way. This is the one that it's being poured into. And if you see the billionaires behind it, their vision, their thought process, just kind of follow the money trail and see where it leads. And it's the worst of the worst people that you can possibly imagine.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, even going back to like crypto, NFTs, all of the above, people right at the beginning for NFTs, they're like, hey, this is really harmful to the environment. You don't even understand how these silly pictures of apes, how it's truly affecting all of this. And it just continued. And I know there was like a big boom and then everything goes downhill. And so I'm hoping that one day we'll get to the point with AI. But for anyone who doesn't know, I quit my job that I had for a few years and I was just kind of casually looking for some other opportunities. The amount of like digital marketing jobs that were open up for AI agencies or services is truly insane. I feel like that was every listing I was seeing, honestly, was just different AI companies. And I was getting hit up by people. And the second I would see AI, I'm just like, what even? I don't understand it. I never really look into it. I've never even used ChatGPT or any of these types of things ever. But yeah, it gets to the point of it being like really scary environmentally, even just, like we kind of talked about with having people say certain things and it sounds entirely accurate. You could have Taylor Swift say something that she never did. and legally speaking, copyright, of course, like we said earlier, it's like, where do we draw the line? Because you can't say like in parentheses parody and then have something potentially dangerous out there. So yeah, all that money that's being poured into all this, I think it's just following the similar path of like crypto and NFT.
And I think it's the way we view it, right? The way we hold it in some sort of regard where, like you're saying, those AI companies, I think we should be naturally skeptical of it versus treating it as some sort of prophecy or as some sort of future that is inevitable. And whether it is inevitable or not, that's not the issue. The issue is the acceleration behind it, putting so much speed into diving headfirst into a technology that is still in its infant phases, and then treating it like, this is the future and you have to get behind it, where those kind of job postings treat AI as if like, this is it, this is cool. And I think being naturally skeptical is good. And I think that's what we need to really teach people and just educate them behind what is actually being poured into it and who's actually behind it. Because I do feel like that's important. As I said before, these people are horrible. These are just awful, awful, awful people. Just imagine the worst of the worst, and that's who it is. The people who are funding this. So it is pretty bad. Sabrina, the only other thing I have here is that I wanted to tell you, and I wanted to tell RB3, obviously he's not here, that I finally saw Challengers.
Oh my God.
I hadn't seen it.
That's insane.
Yeah. So did we do a review on it? Did you guys do a review on it?
I don't think we ended up doing one. But I mean, let's chat about it right now. What did you think?
That was insane. You know what's funny? I know you want to hear what I think. I want to hear what you think.
Okay. All right. Strap in. I'll start with my beginning statements and then I'll toss it over to you and we can kind of chat it through. I think that this was a masterful film. I love Luca Guadagnino. First of all, one of my favorite filmmakers working today. I know we chatted about him on an episode years ago. And I just think the way he handles the human condition, sensuality, all of these other aspects, we see it with something like Bones and All, or, Call Me by Your Name, A Bigger Splash, even Suspiria. I just absolutely admire that. The score from Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, bangers, synth bangers. I still listen to them. I had it on my 27th birthday playlist for when we were at my house and kind of chilling. I love that music, and the performances were absolutely incredible. This put Mike Faist and Josh O'Connor on my radar in the first place. And then so I was able to go back and really pay attention to their other performances or upcoming ones. And then Zendaya, I feel like outside of Euphoria, which I also feel like is pretty one note for her, like she's fantastic, but the writing isn't that great. So she doesn't have a lot to really work with there. It's just constant heartbreak after heartbreak and all of the above. But I feel like she had like a meatier role to chew on for the first time, which is really, really fun. So I think the structure of the film stands out to me a lot too. The way we're going back and forth through these like vignettes of their life. And we are slowly having the like pieces unraveled in front of our eyes and understanding the true weight of this trio's history. And also, it's sexy as hell. Like, it's sexy as hell. So. See,
yeah, everything you said is accurate. I can't deny it. But I think the biggest question, and I think this is the question that I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on, is what's the message? Because I do feel like I was like, what is the theme of this film, according to you, Sabrina? What is its purpose? What is this trying to communicate?
For me, you know what? Let me pull up my review on Geeks the Color. I haven't rewatched it for a hot minute, but I did see it in theaters like 3 times. And also I need to get it on Blu-ray. To me, I think what I got from the film, honestly, is, again, just the human condition. And someone like Tashi, she's kind of playing both of these people like chess. She came into their lives. She's kind of orchestrating everything as exactly as she wants it. So to me, it's kind of like hurt people type of thing, because she lost her one true love, which was tennis. And then during that time had like the burgeoning opportunity of being able to kind of, coach her husband while like having her cake and eating it too, still hanging out with Josh O'Connor's character. RB3. So let me see what I said, because it has been a minute. Oh, one thing I do really love, and I know I kind of said like, oh, this movie's sexy, but I think we've been in such an era of things being so sanitized. Like, even just I think Marvel has a lot to do with this and some of these other films, but these characters are so handsome. Hey, these characters are like so handsome. They're getting like jacked out of their minds, not eating, not drinking water. We're in such a weird era of this, but then at the same time, everything is so sexless and there's no chemistry. There's no like true connection that you can like palpably feel like as an audience member. It's very rare to feel something like that. So that was something that definitely, if that's the one takeaway I have from Challengers, that's good. But yeah, what did
RB3, we're talking about Challengers.
Oh yeah, Andre saw Challengers for the first time.
Hey.
Yeah, I just saw it over the weekend.
Saw the dirty feet.
Oh, yeah, finally I get context for that. What scene is this?
There's a couple. I mean, there's a couple scenes. Both of them got extremely dirty feet. You can see it briefly when Homeboy's in the bed with Zendaya. In the college flashback, the dude, the black hair dude. That's the first scene you see him. Blonde homie, you see his feet for an extended period of time. Towards like about an hour, like in like getting close to the third act. Right before Zendaya does something kind of crazy.
Yeah. In the hotel room.
But he's in the hotel room. He's like being all emotional, and his dirty, nasty feet are just sitting there in 4K and IMAX. You know what I'm saying? I was in IMAX. I was in the wrong spot, and I almost puked. You dig what I'm saying? And I know that's like, I guess that is, to what you were saying, Sabrina. I guess that's a turn on for some people. Not for me. That's nasty. Nasty.
30 feet is a turn on?
For some people. Tarantino.
That's weird.
Yeah, people like Tarantino, and no shaming, do your thing, whatever makes you happy. I hate feet in general, clean or dirty. So that's why that didn't even stand out to me at all, because I wasn't even looking at their feet, because I hate feet. But yeah. And Andre, the theme.
That's what I was going to say.
Ambition. That's what it was. With the whole like hurt people type of thing, it goes back to like just like how ambition can kind of overtake your entire life. She's leaving her daughter and her husband in a hotel room to go hook up with one of her like old flames that she doesn't even like anymore. Like, she's purely just losing him. And then I think we see those moments in Zendaya's character, like where she kind of breaks for a second and realizes what she has done to her own life. Especially when she does come back into the hotel room and Mike-faced Art is sleeping there with the daughter and in bed, in her tiny bed in the hotel room, rather than being like in bed with his wife and kind of having that normal family dynamic. So I think it's like how ambition and jealousy and all of the above can kind of overtake us.
What do you think, RB3? What's your takeaway from Challengers? Because I was like trying to decipher everything that it was communicating.
Yeah, I mean, besides the obvious, I mean, of course those dudes loved each other more than they loved them, Zendaya. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's obvious. And it just shows, it's like a classic bromance, in my eyes. Like, bromance, it's a bromance, but they're both, a little bit deeper than like broing it out. You know what I'm saying? They sharing the same bed, all next to each other and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's they deep with each other, but they're trying to. I feel like the tennis is like really a mask for like who they are. Like, it's not a mask, but it's like reflective of who they are. You know what I'm saying? I gotta watch it again. I only saw it like a couple times.
Yeah, it's unfair to you guys because I have it fresh in my mind versus you guys trying to run back memories because I know it came out in April. Yeah. My bad, y'all. I just saw it, so I was like, damn, I gotta talk about this with somebody, but I got nobody to talk about it with. What were you saying?
What do you think, though?
I thought it was great. I thought it was phenomenal. Really, really well shot. Just a really intense, thoughtful movie, and I love the drama behind it. I love the dramaticness. I don't know if that's a word. Where they say something, they're like, "You should be ashamed." he poses, and then the score is the camera pushes in. It's like, and it's like the guy just and he's just posing, and that's it. And I thought that was great. I was like, this is great. It's really unique and interesting like that. And I did feel like, I don't know, just for me, the themes were like so like everywhere when it comes to Josh O'Connor's character and the other homie. Is his name Mike Feist? Mike Feist?
Yeah.
And I do feel like they said fire and ice, and I was like, that's interesting the way they use that fire and ice. And I was like, oh, they're doing the extrovert introvert kind of thing, which kind of made me, raise my eyebrow a little bit because I was like, this is a little unfair to my fellow introverts out there.
Well, it's also like how cunning Art Mike Face's character is. He's on the surface kind of like the more introvert, but in all actuality, he kind of has his own like plans going on. So I think where Josh O'Connor wears it on his sleeve, Art doesn't. Tashi kind of does. Not as much as like Josh O'Connor of kind of being like a little bit of an asshole to everyone. But then at the same time, Patrick is really sweet under the surface. So there are so many layers to these characters, and I really admire. I know Justin, I don't remember his last name, but he's married to Celine Song, who did Past Lives. So he's the one that wrote the screenplay, which is really interesting because then to think about he's like John Majaro's character in Past Lives.
Yeah.
Like, yo, wait, there are connections here that are just
you got some issues, my brother.
Yeah, let's talk this through. Let's work it out.
Yeah.
So yeah, just like ambition, control, lust, all of the above. It's really like a throuple situation emotionally in every single way. Like they all really love each other. You can see Art and Patrick definitely do have that kind of like repressed love that they had that moment that they were able to let out. I shrieked in the theater. I think that's one of the best scenes when they all three make out for the first time. One of the best scenes.
I thought you were talking about the last shot, but okay, sure.
Oh, that one, I love that ending. And I knew the second I saw it, I like figured some people might not necessarily love where it ends, but it's like Tashi, what she came in to do was watch some good tennis. And at the end, that's what she was able to do. And the boys were able to reconnect.
Yeah. And the way they shot tennis is like way more entertaining than it had to be. Like the camera underneath the court going back and forth, the ball,
it was so fun. As someone who watches tennis and who loves tennis, that was hysterical. I was cracking up the whole time because I felt like I was watching something that was just not tennis. But at the same time, I was like, this is just so fun that I really enjoyed it. The little back and forth with the little quick shots of like them doing the whole like catching the ball before it falls on the floor thing was hysterical to me. Oh, there you go.
I started playing tennis after this movie.
On the way.
Yeah. So when I
love tennis.
It's so fun. But when I watched it in theaters, I was like, wow, like Luca Guadagnino went crazy, making them like drip sweat like that. Like, I know this is him being super extra. Once I started playing tennis, he was not wrong. You do absolutely drip sweat. That wasn't even egregious.
Oh, no. Like tennis is one of the most difficult, technical, hard sports you can play. It's so hard. Like you have to be absolutely incredible. And a lot of the matches are like 2, 3, 4 hours. So yeah, if you're a top of the notch tennis player, you're an absolute monster. You're a physical beast. So that's a real thing. Yeah, for me, I definitely want to sit with it, but I really enjoyed it, and I did feel like what it was communicating was pretty interesting. I just feel like the idea of the placing of the two sides of the same coin, or the fire and the ice, like they said early on in the film, and the introvert and extrovert, it just has a lot. I just feel like I've talked a lot, at least I don't know, personally, off camera, when it comes to this world, feels very exclusive to extroverts and feels very exclusive to people like, what's his face? Patrick. Yeah. And that kind of like, yeah, I'm cool. I'm suave. Like, what's up, bro? Like, I can do whatever I want. Like he smiles and everything. And he's just naturally good at tennis, and he's just doing whatever he wants. And versus the Mikey guy, or what, I don't know his name in the movie. The art guy who like Zendaya kind of like the whole movie is looking down on him as like, bro, she kept saying pussy, like you're pussy, bro. Like she says it in the movie, and I'm like that's not good. Because it's like that kind of idea as far as like, oh, the quiet guy, yeah, you're fucking pussy. It's like, yeah, I guess, but at the same time, I just feel like, and obviously the film balances it out by the end of it, and we get to see a little bit of the darker side of the extrovert and the stronger side of the introvert. But at the same time, I was like, oof, you're really threading the line, Luca, as far as like masculinity, like quietness, extrovertedness, and I was like, this is a hard conversation, and I like it. But
I don't even see it as introvert and extrovert at all, because when given the opportunities, Art did put himself out there a lot. I think what it is truly like who masks who they are and then who wears it on their sleeve. Patrick wears on his sleeve. He doesn't care about how he looks. He doesn't care about his image. He's not really caring about what anybody thinks. His outfits are low-key kind of trash when it comes to like tennis players. A lot of the times, you're sponsored, you're wearing a matching set, you're doing all of that kind of stuff. And that's what Art did. So I think it's more so like someone who's more cunning, because they're all villains. All three of them are villains in their own unique way. So yeah.
I don't know though, because I feel like there's a clear, I think it's more about masculinity. I do feel like there's a huge conversation on masculinity there, but it's clear that Art is the softer side and Patrick is the harder side. Patrick is the I don't care, I sleep around, I get all the girls I want, I don't settle down. And Art is the I'm going to sleep in my daughter's bed, I want to retire, I'm tired. I just
softer,
that's soft, yeah.
Patrick also, he like is sleeping around so he could get a free place to sleep.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of what we see for the most part,
But he doesn't have to though. He does it. He still has money with his parents.
Yeah. Well, like we don't know that situation at the same time, because since his card declined at the hotel when he did try to, you could kind of assume that either he's cut off for whatever reason or
I think I took it as he has too much pride. Yeah. I say like I have too much. I'm not gonna ask for money. Like I'm a man. Like
yeah. And that's what plays into the alpha thing too. That's why I took that too. Yeah. Like, I took the fact that he won't talk to his parents like as a sign of like, yeah, he really is more.
He has
like
a lot of pride.
Alpha pride guy.
Yeah. So I felt it was like the alpha. Like it just felt very like I was like, ooh, this masculinity.
I see a lot more versus like introvert and extrovert.
Yeah, I feel like it's both there because they make it a point to talk about how like, Patrick just gets what he wants and Art has to, quietly ask for it and stuff. And it's like, it just feels like a very interesting conversation, especially for nowadays. And I'm just curious because I don't think necessarily the film is saying this. I think the film is presenting to you these two things and these two sides, showing you the complexity, the push and pull between the two, the role of Zendaya's character in the middle of it, and then it just gives it to the audience. And I just hope that the audience doesn't take away the wrong things, because I'm sure, and I didn't see it with the crowd, I'm positive that a lot of the audience did not. So yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit. So anything else you guys want to talk about today?
Besides Baby Reindeer, and 1942, starring the only rapper / actor with CTE, Tyrese. Came 1942? 1992, I should say 1992.
I was gonna say you tripped so many years.
yeah. My bad. It felt like It felt like the budget was like $19.42. But that's a whole nother conversation.
Did you record real ones today, by the way?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm curious because I know Marin agreed with me on Rebel Ridge on Twitter.
Oh yeah. We talked about that too. I probably now that I've seen new rock stars break it down and all these white people like going head over heels for Rebel Ridge, maybe you're right, Andres. Maybe you're right the whole time. You know what I'm saying?
I told you, man. I told you. You have to see it, Sabrina. You'll have to check it out. Yeah, it's I don't know. I just felt like the ending kind of took me out of it. That was just me. But alrighty, guys. I appreciate your time for today. Thank you so much for watching First Cut Live. Where can everyone find you, RB3?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Director RB3.
Sabrina.
Twitter and TikTok at Sabrina on Film, and then Instagram at Sabrina.onfilm.
You can follow us at First Cut TMO. Follow me at Squad Leader Ace. If you are at LA Comic Con this year, make sure you guys go to my panel, October 5th at 4 p.m., room 405. It is the Rebels panel. How Rebels became an all-time Star Wars story is going to get all into Rebels and talk about its greatest moments and where we want to see our characters go next. Make sure you guys tune in to that if you are in LA at the time. Either way, guys, for the First Cut crew, we're going to be peacing out. So peace. Deuces.
This ain't funny, so don't you dare laugh. With the 4/5 divide you in half. You getting at me equals a bloodbath. You do the math, take you out the equation. This ain't funny, so don't you dare laugh. With